My name is Pingree. I'm the director of the Governor's Office of Policy, Innovation, and the Future. So I got to moderate a panel on AI in the Maine's woods and waters. So it was exciting for me to learn. I already had heard about some of this, but we got to talk to people working in our forest products industry at Maine, at the Bigelow Center, on lobster boats, who are doing work with AI in Maine's heritage industries. So it was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot, but it's obviously a key area of Maine's economy and a big part of the future as we try to manage in a changing climate. I am also the co-chair of Maine's Climate Council, and in 2020 we published the first in a long time Maine's 4-year climate action plan called Maine Won't Wait. And the climate action plan is about how do we reduce our emissions to meet our global requirements, to do our responsibility to try to battle climate change, but also how do we manage in a changing environment. So it was a lot about our forests, our oceans, how are we going to manage in a time when the climate is changing? What does it mean for people in communities? What does it mean for people working on the ocean? What does it mean for our forest products industry? There are a number of suggestions that totally overlap with what happened today in the panel. So we know the work of Maine and Aaron Weiskettel. He is actively helping us understand how much carbon is our forest sequestering every year. One of Maine's goals is, or actual requirements in law, is that 75% of our carbon emissions are currently being sequestered, and by 2045 we need 100%. So we need to make sure that our forests are healthy, but we need a lot of data, we need a lot of understanding, we need a lot of science to ensure that that's happening. In a time of a changing climate, we are seeing increasing pests, we are seeing a changing forest, we are seeing a lot of change in our oceans. So trying to stay on top of that change, especially the change coming from climate, is important. It's completely unpredictable. It requires science. But as we learned today, AI is helping us understand toxic algae blooms. These are happening more often because of climate change. We learned that Bigelow is helping aquaculturists understand that change. So in a changing climate, our ability to understand what's happening in the natural world is essential for our economy. It's essential for human health and our communities. So the work of climate and AI is much more linked than probably I understood a couple of years ago, and the tools are really going to help us understand how to better chart a pretty unpredictable future course. Maine was one of the first states in the country to come up with a climate action plan in 2010, and I actually was in the legislature when that plan first came about, and now we're one of the national leaders. Our state's climate plan won a national planning, and our plan really tries to be very responsive to what's happening in Maine. It's about how does our changing climate impact our communities and our economy? And I will say lots of folks from around the country ask us about why our plan is so relevant. A lot of people in Maine are reading our plan and thinking about what they can do. We have a lot of new industries in Maine, and clean energy and forest products, as well as ocean industries that are trying to help us actually take action on climate as it relates to the work that they're doing. So we're proud of it. We actually have to create another climate plan by law in 2 years. And I will say that sort of changing science, the changing data that we have will continue to inform how do we hone the plan and make it more responsive to what's happening. Well, I will just say, I think this was a great day. So congrats to the RU on a really successful event. For me, it's fun to be here, but to be on a panel with Maine and scientists and practitioners, Bigelow Lab, all of the people we work with. So kudos to you all for putting together, really bringing together science and data, people working on the ground in Maine. I will just say that this is an exciting area, and it's exciting to be a part of it.